Hello all. Good evening. I hope I'm audible to all of you. Can you just ping me in the chat that everybody is able to hear me and able to see me? Thank you, Suresh sir. Thank you so much. I hope I'm audible to all. Thanks for the quick feedback, sir. Yeah. Good evening. Good afternoon, one and all. My name is Suresh, and I am the CEO and co-founder of Startoon Labs Private Limited, a medical device company based out of Hyderabad. I'm very happy to host this webinar today. Yeah. Sorry for the interruption. Yeah, so very happy to share with all the details of the Physi Home, which is basically a telephysiotherapy application with the social distancing norms in place. Doing business in physiotherapy has actually become quite difficult, and some software tools are needed where you can connect yourself with the patient at the same, and vice versa. The patient can get in touch with you to ensure that he or she is doing the exercises. So without much delay, I would like to introduce the company and the product. I'll now share my screen, and during the presentation, I request all to please keep your microphones muted. And in case you have any queries during the presentation, please feel free to drop the question in the chat box. Immediately after the entire presentation, I will take up one after the other to ensure that all your queries are answered. Thank you so much. And now I shall share my screen in the presentation. Yes. So just a quick brief about the company. We are a 2.5-year-old medical device company based in Hyderabad, and our vision is to make medical devices in the field of physiotherapy and rehabilitation, and to ensure that it helps the doctors and physiotherapists. So we are incubated by Government of Telangana, and we are also funded by Government of India. Got a lot of recognitions in the country and also abroad. We got recognitions from IIM Calcutta, IIT Kharagpur, Samsung, Medical, Kahotech, just to name a few. The Physi, the product that we have, was well recognized by a lot of people in the country and in the world. Myself, I'm Suresh, and I'm co-founder Maitri. Maitri is also my wife. We have co-founded this company 2.5 years back. So we are, by qualification, we are engineers with good broad development experience, and with all the, I have around 14 years of experience. My wife has around 8 years of experience. With all the product design and development experience that we have, we set up this company, and with a good team of engineers, we build the products. So coming to the main point, do you want to stay connected with your patients even when you are away? That's the burning question during this lockdown and because of this pandemic that has happened. And obviously the answer is yes for all of us. So that's where the solution from Startoon Labs comes. It's called as Physi Home and Physi Admin. Basically, it's a telephysiotherapy application, which consists of two applications, two Android-based applications. One runs at the physiotherapist side, and one runs on the patient side. So the app that runs on the physiotherapist side is called as the Physi Admin, that you see on the left side of your screen. And the application that runs on the patient side is called as Physi Home, that you see on the right side of the screen. So basically what these applications do is, the physiotherapist can keep in touch with the patient remotely, irrespective of wherever the patient is in the world. At the same time, the patient can also keep in touch with his or her physiotherapist wherever he or she is there in the world. So the geography is no more a limitation. As you all know, there is the physiotherapists are, they have some expertise in a specific domain, and sadly, the knowledge is not reached to greater parts of the country and outside your locality and even the state. So Applications like these help you to increase your spread in the country and not just localized to your area. So this is a very novel application that we have designed and developed. Slowly it is gaining popularity, and I'm sure this means of digital means of keeping in touch with your patient, the tele rehabilitation and telephysiotherapy will actually become the norm in the coming days because of this social distancing norms that are there. To give you a detailed introduction, even before I give a demo of the entire application to all, so I'll give you an introduction of this application. So Physi Admin. So both the apps are there in Play Store, Google Play Store. So one can download the app and start using it. And the best part is it's free for the physiotherapist, completely free. So coming to Physi Admin for the therapist, connect with your patient even when you are away. So this application basically helps you schedule, add patients to your app. You can add as many patients as you want. Schedule exercises to the patient based on their illnesses and disorders. You can have, the exercise. There's a library of exercises, good library of exercises that we have created with the clinical experts in the team, and you can choose among the exercises that you want. In case you see that because of a specific disorder that you are treating, if the exercises are not available in our library, we will also help you customize your application with specific exercises designed for you. So that feature we have, and that will be done when it is immensely needed and you don't see any exercise in our library. So yes, you can select the exercises specific to the disorder of your patient and assign them the exercises for a day, for a week, for a month, as many number of days as you want. You can schedule a video call with them, basically a tele-consultancy. You can schedule an audio call. And the best part is once the patient does the exercises, you get a feedback. You get how the patient has done the exercises, and the entire report is generated on your phone. So just by looking at the phone, you can, the report on the phone, you can call back to your patient over a video call and give a video consultancy and so on. So in this way, even remotely, you can actually keep in touch with your patient and keep getting revenues, which otherwise you could not have got because the patient will not travel to your clinic because of these conditions. Coming to the Physi Home, the right side picture that you see. So in Physi Home, as soon as the physiotherapist prescribes exercises, there is a notification that comes on the Physi Home app, and the list of exercises that have been scheduled for that particular day are visible on the phone. There's also a small video clipping for each exercise, which guides the patient as to what that exercise is and how he or she should do that exercise. That's a small clip. It will not run continuously the exercise, but it gives you a reference. At the same time, once the exercise is done, the reports are generated, the feedback is sent to the physiotherapist immediately. Physiotherapist can see the performance, the adherence and all, and then give a award or a congratulations award, and motivate the patient. So as you can see, there are videos. There is a reminder icon that is there. The physiotherapist can actually send you a reminder in the morning saying you have sessions prescribed for the day. Then your location is there. There is, the messaging is there, and video call is there. So in this way, there's a close connect between the physiotherapist and the patient on a day-to-day basis. You can keep tracking your patient. And if your patient is not doing the exercise, it has a direct impact on the adherence percentage that the app calculates. So by looking at that, you can actually call back your patient and say that, they are not adhering to the protocol that you have scheduled for them, which will lead to damage of their lead to a lack of quick recovery of the patient. So this is a closed loop system that is there. So yeah, it's the same thing basically. The video consultation, guided therapy, patients, you can track patient activity on a day-to-day basis. At the same time, give a feedback on a day-to-day basis to the patient as to how he or she is doing. So how does this help? Even before I give a demo, I just want to tell you all that it will help you earn additional revenues with teleconsultations. Every teleconsultation that you do, you are charging the patient, and you are earning revenues for every consultation that you're doing. And since the list of the library of exercises is already available, it's quite easy for you to just select the exercise and prescribe it to the patient. You can schedule as many exercises as possible to your patient. Keep a track of your patient's activity and grow your brand. This is more important because this has a direct impact on your revenues. As I mentioned earlier, with the use of these kind of applications, digitally enabled applications, which is the norm of the time, you can actually increase your reach not only to your local area, but internationally. It's all limited by the kind of branding that you do for your clinic and by the kind of treatment that you do to your patients. The word of mouth will just spread, and you can, like if you are in Delhi, you can start treating a patient who is in Hyderabad, which otherwise would not have been possible. And you can keep track of your appointments and schedule a call with your patients. This is a quick view of the app, which is at the physiotherapist. So like in any other app, you have to sign up and log in. Then you have to add your patients. Once you add your patients and you schedule exercises in this way, as you see on the screen. Once the exercise is scheduled, here you come to know, these dots, the 3 dots say that on 14th of March, 3 sessions were prescribed, out of which the patient has actually done all the 3. Similarly, for March 15th, the 1 is red. That means that person has not done 1 and only done half, so 50% adherence. As you can see, for all the future dates, they are gray, which means that the patient has actually not done the exercise because he cannot do it. By the way, the patient is allowed to do the exercise only on that particular day. Patient cannot do the exercise for previous day. Patient cannot do the exercise for tomorrow. He can only do the exercise that are scheduled for the day. So this ensures that patient is actually adhering to his schedules. Okay. So once the exercises are done, on the dashboard, the reports are generated as to how much of percentage adherence has happened for that particular day, which exercise, which limb has been exercised, and how many repetitions are there, how many sets, what is the total adherence, total time which the patient has taken to do the exercise. So all the statistics of every exercise that you prescribe to the patient is actually visible on your phone, after he does the exercise. Similarly, this is, as you see, this is a daily report that you see. Similarly, you can see a weekly report, like 18th March to 24th March. If the exercise was scheduled, how has the goal been reached, on a day-to-day basis. And one more is also there. There's also an overall report, which can span for a few months. So from day 0, you can actually keep a track of what all exercise you have been prescribing, what all exercises and how the patient has been doing. And after doing all the exercise for so much of duration, how much is his adherence and how much is his total time of exercise, and all those things you can keep a track. So with this, now I'd like to share a quick demo. So as I mentioned in my this thing, there are actually 2 apps, right? One is the PhysiAdmin on the physiotherapist, and PhysiHome, which is for the patient. But today in my webinar, I'll be mainly focusing on PhysiAdmin app, because that is the app that you will be using. And maybe later on, since it will take a lot of time to explain both the apps today, I will only talk about PhysiHome from the exercises front, meaning I'll just show you how the patient will do exercise with the app in front of him and how the reports are generated. So entire focus will be on PhysiHome. So I request all to listen carefully and please put your questions on the chat box immediately, after which we will address the queries. So now I'll show you the demo. Yeah, so PhysiAdmin app is for physiotherapists and PhysiHome is for patients. So the most important, first I'll keep on explaining as when it happens. So you need to go to the Play Store and download PhysiAdmin app. You just have to type PhysiAdmin. And in the beginning, it comes as PhysiAdmin for physiotherapists. And then you have to install it on your phone. So it will take some time for installation. And let me, yeah. So right now it's installing, as you see. Once it's installed, it appears on your desktop or on your wallpaper, wherever it is. Yeah, as you can see here, it is visible. So you click on the first step for the physiotherapist is to sign up and register himself or herself. So initially, when you open the screen, these basic details of the app will come. You just have to click next, 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 and click on finish. Once you finish, the sign up screen appears. You have to click on sign up and enter your username, any name you can enter. So I have entered it as physio. You have to enter a valid email address, which you are using, because this email address is where the OTPs and all will come, the one-time passwords. So please ensure that the email address is entered very correctly. You can choose your own password so that only when you log in, you will be able to see your patients. Others cannot, even with your phone with the other people, they cannot see your patient's data. So it's more of a security. Please enter a good password. And once you enter that, code is SMS or OTP is sent to your email address that you have written. So here I have my Gmail address. As you see, a verification code was sent, 371046. So it takes around 3 to 4 seconds for you to get the code and copy that, read that code and type it here. And hit the submit button. In case you don't get the OTP, please click the resend button. You will get it. So now you are registered. Now you have to log in. So you have to use the same email ID that you used earlier and your password that you created. So the email ID is entered exactly. Please ensure all the spaces and all are correct. And also it is capital and small sensitive. So please ensure there's no mistake done. And then you have to click on the right icon. It says logging in. That's all. So registration of a physiotherapist is that's all. Basically signing up. Now the next step is to enter your details, because as a physiotherapist, your details will be available for your patients. So please give allow, click on allow access, whatever the app is asking you for. Don't deny anything, just give an access to that. So here now I'm uploading a photograph of myself, for example, as a physiotherapist, okay? So once you upload your photograph, upload a nice decent photograph of yours because it is visible to your patients. Then you enter your designation, your name, your correct phone number is important because the patient will be able to call you directly on this phone number. Then you have to enter your date of birth, your degrees, your BPT, MPT, DPT, any memberships, whatever you want to be visible on the report, please enter that. So I have just entered my degrees here. As an engineer, I just entered them. And you hit on the next button. And then here, if you see here, it says upload your hospital logo. You can also upload your clinic's logo as a part of your branding, because you will be prescribing exercise to your patient. It will be great if your logo is always visible there, on the reports and to the patient. So please upload any picture, anything that you have. I'm just entering a sample picture here. And then you can also click your experience, 8 years, 10 years, your designation, whatever. Your hospital name or your clinic name you have to enter. So all this information is basically your profile, okay, the way you want it to look. So please upload all the things very correctly. Your city, state, and country. So once you do that, you click save, and as you see, earlier it was not there. Now all the things have been populated, right? So first step was downloading the app, registering yourself, and then uploading a profile. You can, when you click about, you see, I'll just show you one second. When you click about, you see the app version number. So it's always good to keep an eye on the version number because you should always have the latest app with you. So when you click on about here, it's app version 2.1.0, just for information basically. And then you click on the dashboard. So it gives you a quick introduction of how many patients you have, how many patients are ongoing their sessions, and a lot of information if you click on the dashboard. Okay. So since we have registered for the first time, there are no patients, right? So you click on add patient. there are add patient icons here. There's an icon here, there's an icon. You can click anyone, and then you have to add your patient. So patient details you have to add here. Okay, so patient name, please enter correct phone number of your patient. So suppose you are in a clinic, okay, and you have your patient in front of you, so you can actually register him and or her there itself, okay. Please enter correct email ID of your patient. Very important, because all the OTPs for your communication will go to patient's email. So name, phone number, email ID, very, very important. Their gender, date of birth. Referred by, since he's your patient, you can write your name, Dr. So-and-so. And then hit the next button. You can upload the photograph also. In case the patient is in front of you, you can upload. You can just click his photograph and upload. And then you go to the next page where the case history comes. You enter stroke or whatever. There are a lot of options available. I'll just show you. As you can see here, case description, so many cases are available, right? So you can select your case. Then where is the patient based out of? The start date is basically from when you want to schedule the exercise for your patient, okay? So it has to be today. And then a duration, you can give how many duration and how many days your patient will be doing that. So 4 days. Rest timer and preparation timer, let me give a pause here. So basically rest timer is, suppose you have prescribed 2 exercises to your patient, and then one after the other, rather between 2 sets for the same exercise, then the patient may take some 5 seconds of time. It is programmable. You can change to 10 seconds, 15 seconds. Similarly, preparation timer is nothing but between 2 different exercises. Maybe the person was sitting and doing a wrist flexion and extension, and then he has to go to supine position and do a knee extension and flexion, whatever. So he will need some time between the 2 exercises, right? So that's where you are giving him or her the preparation timer between. So these are all programmable. Can be changed later also. Okay. So you have entered all the patient details right now. You will save and send. Save and send. When you do, it will ask you for the email. Basically, an email will be sent to the patient. As you can see here, the password is sent. Okay. As you can see here, a temporary password for that particular is sent, and now the patient is actually intimated that he should do, he has been added. So yes, few more things which I wanted to explain here was, yes, now it's done. The patient you have added here, and there are lots of other things here which I will explain. You can go to report section. Report is here. Yes. So different things that are here are, you can send a feedback to your patient. You can send a reminder. You can see your patient's reports by clicking on this icon. And then few things are not yet functional because it's a very novel app that we are making. Few things are in work in progress. There's a video call feature that works. Profile, you can always change your patient's profile. If you want to extend the number of days he or she wants to do exercise, you can actually update from here. I'll show you how it can be done. And if you want to delete this patient, you can delete. So these are some of the quick menu that is there. Let me take it forward. Suppose I click on reports. So when you click on reports, you have to select whether you want to see a day report, week report, or monthly overall report. So as you see, you have just registered your patient, right? So no exercises, you have not put anything. So every day is a rest day, right? And everything is 0. So this shows that, you have just added your patient and he has not done anything, okay? So active time, you can see, the goal reached, you can see. So these are all reports, which I will again show you, but this is a quick introduction to the entire app and its features. So day-wise, week-wise, overall reports you can see. You can click on, profile. Once you click on profile, you will see that the patient's start date, end date, everything has come. You remember you have put 4 days, right? So something like that. So again, the patient details come here. You can change the patient name, upload a picture, whatever. You can edit the patient details in case you wish to, okay? And again, you can change the start date. You cannot change the start date. You can change only the end date, okay? And you can change the timers. So whatever cannot be changed is gray, okay? So that's how by clicking on the profile, these things happen, okay? Now you can also delete. I'll press cancel here. So you can actually delete the patient name also. Okay. So in this way, you have added your patient details, you have added a new patient, and you're ready to schedule exercises. If you remember, we have given 4 days, right? 4 days as duration. So this is the screen from where you can start prescribing exercises for your patients. So you just have to go to the screen on the date and click on plus. I'll just show you. So it asks for session number 1. So you are actually prescribing session today. It asks you to set. So there's a clock available there. You click on the down arrow, you can set the time. The time when the patient has to do the exercise. So here I am prescribing an exercise for patient 1 at 9:30 p.m. Okay, you say done. Once you click done, the library of exercises is visible to you now, like warm-up exercises, wrist flexion, straight leg, spine, wall push-up, inversion, eversion, knee, wrist, hip. So a lot of exercises. We have created a very good library. Most of them will be there. If you don't have, then we can always get in touch to create and improve this library upon. So once you know the library of exercise, you just have to click on that exercise. Right now, I'm selecting a straight leg raise exercise, okay, for the left. So you click on left, number of sets, number of repetitions he has to do. Okay, sometimes you can do with a load, for wrist, like the small sandbags and all. And the pace can also be set, whether the person has to do it medium, fast, or slow. Okay, so these are the parameters for every exercise you can actually prescribe. Okay, so once you select, see, I selected straight leg, it comes here as 1 selected. So if you select one more exercise, it will give you as 2 selected here. In this way, you can select as many exercises for that particular session. Like the next exercise I'm scheduling to my patient is ankle inversion and eversion. Okay, so I'm selecting the right ankle, only 1 set, 5 repetitions, and it's in a slow mode. Okay, if you click on done, you see here now it says 2 selected, right? The 2 exercises. The third exercise is like knee raise for left. So this is all just dragging. You can just drag. Okay. So you see 3 selected. So for my first patient in the session, I selected 3. If you click preview, all the 3 exercises that you want to send, this just verify. Okay. Here also you can edit. If you click edit, then you can again change. Suppose, for example, you are given a wrong number. 2 sets you mentioned instead of 1 set. So you can change here also before finally delivering the sessions to your patient. Okay. And then click send. So you see session sent. Okay. Once it is sent, a gray dot appears here. Yes. So as you see here, session sent to the patient, and a gray dot appears. That means for today, you have actually sent him a session. Okay, you have prescribed a session. Suppose you want to add one more session, maybe in the afternoon. One you did in the morning. So second one, session 2. So similarly, again, you can prescribe some sessions with the date. Now, I'm sorry for this. I'm really sorry for this connection issue that has happened at my end. So I have just quickly given you a demo of the entire, admin side application. With that, now as you saw, we were able to onboard a patient. We were able to onboard the patient and schedule exercises. And now the exercise is gone. Okay. So as I mentioned earlier, I will quickly tell you what the patient has to do at there. Though I'm talking about the entire app on the patient side now. I'll show quick videos as to what the patient has to do once the exercise is scheduled. I'll share my screen once again. So once this exercise has been scheduled, the patient has to, as you see, I have scheduled an exercise for 2 exercises. So on the side, so for 13th day, they cannot start these sessions. Okay. At the same time, for tomorrow, 15th, I have scheduled a session. They cannot start the session. Okay. So this ensures that they do the exercise only on that particular day. So and as you saw, there were 2 exercises that were prescribed. And they have to just execute, the video comes up, they can play the video and see if the, see how to basically perform the exercise. And the timer and all are actually visible. So the timer keeps on incrementing at its pace as prescribed by the physiotherapist. And then during that time, they have to do the exercise, okay? There's also a feature of pausing. Suppose somebody has to go to, has a call to attend, so they can pause and they can still start. At the same time, there's also a skip button. If they're not able to do the exercise, they can actually skip the exercise, okay? So in this way, the patient is actually given the time to do that particular exercise. And once it is done, once the exercise, the 4 reps are done, the patient is asked to give his or her feedback, like whether they have been able to do it well and whether there was pain, on a scale of 6, they can give their pain rating. And the details have gone to the physiotherapist, okay, whether the patient has done it, if it was painful for him, and if he could do it on time. Before he goes to the next session, next exercise, as I mentioned, there's a preparation timer of 15 seconds. So now next is a straight leg rise exercise for left, right? So there's a clipping here, which shows how to do the exercise. And the patient can see that and actually do the exercise. For his reference, this video is there, okay? And once he does, I'm just fast forwarding it. So once he does, then there's a rest time. And again, he does so as you can see, 2 sets are there, right? So first one he did completely, so it came as green. Once he does the second one also perfectly well, without skipping and without pausing, the app keeps a time of how much time the patient, again, he has to give his feedback. So once he gives it feedback and clicks on send, the report for that day comes. As you have seen, this patient has done completely for, both the exercises, right? So it's 100%. Also, it's 100% adherence because he has done both the sessions for the day today. Both the exercise for the session for the day today. If you go to other dates, nothing is visible, okay? So immediately the patient also gets his schedule. He understands how much time he took to do that exercise. Similarly, you can go for week and see, like 14th of August, okay? He did 100%. The goal has reached 100%. And active time, he did for 3 minutes, okay? However, you can again click on the overall and you can see for the complete thing, it will be lesser adherence, right? Because he has still some exercise for tomorrow and some he has not done yesterday. So adherence will come. Total active time till today should come, okay? And once all these things happen, it goes to the dashboard. Okay? And on the dashboard, the patient will get a feedback saying that, he has actually reached the goal for today and keep up the good work. It also gives you how many days are left, okay, for the patient. How many days are left. So start date is yesterday, as you can see, and 3 more days left because today, tomorrow, and day after, okay? So in this way, a quick thing that happens on the patient side. Once this is done, the physiotherapist can actually open his app and see. I'll just show you that. Once the patient has done the exercise, you see here, it immediately became a green dot. So basically, the patient has done. Today he has done the exercise well. Yesterday he has not done. Okay, and you can actually see his reports today. And this is all immediately after. As soon as he closes his app and you open and close your app, the data is reflected here. You see, the same results that the patient has seen are actually seen by the physiotherapist immediately. Okay. Similarly, the physiotherapist can see the week, okay, the overall goal reached, total active time, everything he can see quickly. And then once he's happy, he can actually click the feedback button here and you see the new certificate has come. So this is a means of motivating the patient to do further exercises. So once that is done, once the patient opens his app the other day, he will get a certificate too. So this is a motivation for the patient. Okay. So as soon as you give a motivation, he gets it on his screen also. So in this way, basically, you are able to keep in touch with your patients. Okay, you are able to keep in touch with your patients, schedule exercises. The patient can do it, give a feedback, and then you can actually give him another feedback or a certificate saying he or she has done. So this was a quick introduction of the entire thing. I will say, I hope I have been able to give you a fair idea of how this platform works. And the best part, it's free. Coming to the economics part, the revenues part for you, the patient, it's free for you basically. However, the patient has to pay initial registration fees of 200 upon sign up. And then every video consultation that you do for your patient, see, the fees for that will vary from one state to other. Like in the city of Hyderabad, it may be around 500, 600. In the city, some places in the north, as far as I know, is somewhere around 300, 400. The rates may differ. So your consultation fees plus 30%. 30% is for 30% of the consultation fees is coming to the company for this service. Okay, so this is the model. So there's no not a single rupee from your pocket that goes into this. At the same time, the more number of patients you onboard for your diagnosis and treatment, the more earnings you have. So with this, I wish to conclude my session. I can be contacted on this number. I hope everybody has my number, and you can also send an email if you have any queries. I'm open to question and answers. I'm stopping my screen sharing right now. In case you have, in case you want to explain your question, please come online with your video and audio on. Otherwise, you can keep it in the chat. Let me have a look at the chat box. There is a question by Start Exercises Physiotherapy. Therapists have their own way of designing and implementing exercises. So can they directly record and create a set of exercises within their account with their personally desired variations, which they can conveniently prescribe to their respective patients? Yes, we can. As I mentioned earlier, if you want some customization in the app, there's a feature that we are giving. If you want some customization to the app, then you can share your small snippets with us. We will incorporate it in the library, and that will be visible only to you. We can do that personal thing, personal customization for your app. So those exercises will be only visible to you. What if the patient doesn't have an email ID? Can we skip that? This is by Dr. Neha Parvati. See, if he doesn't bring the onboarding the patient, and you are giving him access to the app, right? So a temporary ID has to be created, and it should be there. Okay. If the patient doesn't have, maybe one of the family members should have, because in this digital era, somebody should have an email ID. Okay, so you can use their patient can use their email IDs also. The importance of email ID, as I mentioned, because the OTPs and all go to that. Even for the patient, when he's logging, when he's signing up for the first time, he will receive an OTP. And this email and all is more for for security. Anybody cannot log in into that. Anybody should not log in, rather. So there are secured features. So we cannot skip it, Dr. Neha. Dr. Priyal, for each session, does the patient have to pay? No, the patient does not have to pay for each session. Yes, however, the patient has to pay for every video consultation that they have with you. That makes sense, right? Because you are giving some consultation, even you are giving 5 minutes of your time, that should be paid for. So for every video consultation that you do, patient has to pay. Okay, and with every video consultation, they will be getting few sessions for free. Like for example, for next 2 days and 15 sessions, comes with that cost that they pay for the video call. Okay, because it's like you pay for a doctor and then the second visit they don't charge you, something like that. So here they are paying you for a consultation. Obviously, these set of exercises that you are prescribing to them for that particular duration should be actually be incorporated. Okay, so he will not pay for every session; he's paying for every consultation. Okay, sessions depend on you. You give him 10 sessions, he will do. You give him 1 session, he will do. But it's the payment is not based on sessions. Start Exercises Physiotherapy. Therapists have their own. Yeah, I think I have just answered this question. Start Exercises. There's a question by Dr. Meghna Singhal. where the patient has to pay, in the app or to the clinic or hospital directly. Yeah, I've not shown you the Feezy home site. The app has integrated payments. It's like Amazon, there are lots of uh, sites which are dedicated for payment, like Razorpay. You have Paytm, you have PayUBiz. There are online paying sites are available, which are very, very secure. So the app on the patient side has a payment gateway incorporated already. So all he has to do is click pay and make the needful payments and get in touch with you. So there is and then that money comes to the company because that's the complete thing, out of which 70% goes to you, 30% comes to us. So it's all tracked. Every payment is tracked. So that is Dr. Meghna's. Okay, Dr. Priyal, all right. Dr. Suresh, the payment happen? Will the app help? Yes, Dr. Suresh. Just now, I answered this question. The payments gateway has been successfully integrated in the app, and they can pay there directly. Just a hit of a button and entering their passwords and all. The same payment. When you buy something on Amazon, how do you pay? Same thing. Do you provide e-commerce? We do not provide e-commerce, but yes, the payment gateways are incorporated in the. Dr. Meghna has a question. Will the therapist got to know the payment has been made? Yes, therapist will get to know. We will, the therapist will get an SMS immediately after the payment has been made. Dr. Suresh, yes. So I think I have answered some typical questions that people had. If in case you have any more queries, now that you know how Feezy admin works, if you have any queries, I'll be more than happy to take it online, either in the chat or you can come online and discuss with us.
Hello, Dr. Suresh.
Yes, please, Dr. Suresh. Yeah.
Thank you for the insightful presentation. It was both balanced in terms of the science of the app as well as the engineering part of the app.
Thank you so much. I'm glad. Thanks for joining, sir. Please, sir, tell me.
And congratulations also on developing such an app in the app time. So job very, very well done. I have a few questions. I'll just start. But for me, the first question that I had was
how
please. Trusted the platform is in terms of privacy and information security, because people are sharing their details as a person, as well as they are sharing the payment details as well through this platform. Can you please throw some lights on it?
Yes. No problem, sir. Yeah, very nice question. And it's my duty to answer it very correctly. Yes, there are two parts to it. One is the patient's sessions data and the way they are doing it, and their personal data, their email ID or whatever. Okay. Second part of the question was the payments. Let me answer the first part. So we are using a very, very secured cloud platform from Amazon Web Services. So AWS, just for everybody's information, AWS is one of the world's very, very trusted cloud-based platforms for data storage. A lot of companies, even healthcare companies, e-commerce companies, a lot of companies have Amazon Web Services as their backend platform and storage platform. So it's not that it's our own cloud, it's not that it's our own server, but it's a secured server which is trusted by millions in the world. Second thing is, for sharing such storing that data, there are certain settings that we put on the cloud-based platform. Okay, so there are settings for some healthcare platform, there's setting for e-commerce. So there are certain settings that we have to check. You have to put a check. So based on that, the security protocols are enabled. And it's the same thing which is followed by a lot of people on this planet, by healthcare, by e-commerce or whatever. So just to make the long answer short, we are using a very, very trustworthy platform, which is trusted by many, many people in this world. And selecting the healthcare as our business, the encryption and all is taken care of. So that's for the patients. Okay. Coming to the payments, that's a very good question. One thing which I want to inform is we have not developed the payment gateways. Okay, the payment gateways are the ones which are being used for payments throughout the world, like Razorpay, PayUBiz. These are online gateways which are highly secured, and they have the authorization to do the transaction. Me and my company has no right to do the transaction. Okay, so even when we integrated such facilities and such features in our app, we had to undergo scrutiny. They see our company, they see the website, they see the business, they see what kind of payments will happen. So entire background check has happened even before they allowed us to integrate the Razor Pay APIs. We call it as application programming interfaces. So those APIs are given to us by them. We are not developed anything. Okay, so we have to just integrate them in the app, and the entire secured payment gateway is being taken care by them. So these are the two reasons these are the two features in the app, and in both the features we have used secured platform.
Sure. Thank you for that explanation. The reason why I was asking this is because it is connected to the next question, and it's also connected to the questions that people asked in the chat box, which was related to having the videos done on them, and then say StarToon will look at it and then incorporate it in the current library. When we do that, what if somebody else looks at our videos that's there in the StarToon lab and then picks it up for their own innovation? So that there's chance of so can people, if the security is not that great, there are chances that people might use the videos or the tools that we have in our library for their purposes. So it is kind of one way looking at people taking it away with a copyrighted app, the information that we are holding in our library. The other way is like, I take strains as a provider to come up with a video and then put it in StarToon Lab, and somebody else is actually using the video somewhere else. So that's the reason I was trying to ask that question. So if there's security, nobody can actually pick anything from our app and the library.
Yes. No. People cannot pick the videos from our app. That's for sure. Okay, because the library is completely protected and locked. So they can only view. And viewing of exercise is okay because because it's those exercises have been developed from decades, and until it is very specific for a particular person where a lot of research is going and some exercise is being done for the first time, maybe you can write a paper on that or file some process patents or something. But the exercises that we have put are the generic ones because of these because the application that we have developed is to ensure that it is helpful to a lot of physiotherapists who are practicing musculoskeletal or stroke-based treatments. So you can have a look at the video, but they cannot take it out from the software solution. Yes.
Sure. Thank you. The other questions I had was one related to the people or the physios or therapists actually coming up with a video and then submitting it to StarToon Lab for their purpose. What is the process in which you will actually say that this is a good video and we'll have it in a library, or we'll not have it in a library because there are some features that's missing?
Okay. Yeah, that's a very good question, sir. See, this is more of a, though I will not exactly completely, open this feature to everybody and anybody who wants to do any exercise. However, like the way, we know certain people, even in this group, some people may be only treating stroke related people, or some only, musculoskeletal, some only cerebral palsy, spinal cord injuries, whatever. So if there's such a need of specific exercise, then we will customize the app only for that person. So what I mean to say is, since that physiotherapist is already registered and he or she believes in his or her treatment, which has been working for them earlier, like I am none to certify that exercise works or that does not work. Okay, because I, as a manufacturer and as an owner of the company, my job is to give them a platform, and the clinical part is actually their choice. So in that case, suppose you are the practitioner and you have a very specific exercise which has to be onboarded onto the app. So since you have your email ID and you have your credentials, if that kind of customization needed, and if you tell, no, Suresh, I cannot do without this exercise, I want it to be reflected in the app, then we will do it for you, sir. However, I am not the person to validate it. I will bring that link into the app, and that will be visible only to you and to your patients. This we can do. In which case, we are ensuring that I am not interfering into that and I'm not judging anything. However, the app is customized for you and your patients. This we can do.
Great, thanks. That provides some highlights in terms of if there is specific.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there'll be breach, meaning I have some
Yes.
video and then some other patients might use it, and some other provider might think this is rubbish.
Yes.
Why are they actually
Yes.
having video in the live
So
feed?
we are linking it to your registration ID. Okay. And your specific video will only be visible to you and your patients who are believing you and, who are following you to do the exercise. So I don't see, and the person, for example, you are doing it and maybe Dr. Meghna is for her on her application, it will not be visible. So we are not doing anything in that regard.
The last one last question. Sorry, I might take up
No,
some
so
of
I'm
yours.
sure your questions are adding immense value to a lot of other audience who are there. So thanks for asking, please.
The last question is related to the provider's perspective, Dr. Suresh. So this is like for treating a patient, I am actually in general practice or good clinical practice, I have to get their consent before I do anything to treat a patient. Even if I'm asking them
Okay,
to
yes.
sit on a couch, I should actually ask them, is it okay for you to sit on a couch before getting them on any training? So the concept of consent comes to my thoughts, and now we are moving on from an in-person consent taking procedure for providing a therapy to a procedure where we are actually clicking yes and no, and then adding our details, and then finally saying that if a patient is registered through a physiotherapist, it means that they are consenting for therapy anytime. So hardly concerns are not happening. However, you have the hourly options inbuilt in the program. So how does that work? Because in reality, what might happen, and these are some of the questions that I was asked when I was developing an app, is that you give something to a patient, and if the patient does not like it, he will come back to you straight saying, I don't like it. Or if he's got pain, you see it, he's got pain, and then you will actually tweak the treatment based on the needs by just having hands-on with him. Now we are moving on to the different format, which is making the patient look at a video and then do it. What if the patient misinterprets the video, and then what if he's got he's got an injury, or there's a serious incident because of what he's seeing and then doing?
Okay, very, very valid question, sir. So two parts again. So first part was regarding the this consent. So when the I have missed that out. So when you download the app and when you install it, it says very clearly that you agree to the terms and conditions and the privacy policy of the company. So these terms and conditions also incorporate. These terms and conditions are available on the website also. So these terms, and it's like similar to any other installation software. We rarely read, I agree to the terms and conditions. Okay, you just put it, you put a tick and you go ahead, right? So the consent is basically a subset of the privacy terms and conditions that is being offered by this platform. So by installing that app itself, it's like a digitally signed thing, you can assume like that. So by installing itself, it means that he has actually agreed to all the terms and conditions. Okay, so that basically does, it's like formal consent form that you sign and share. Since he has downloaded and installed, so that is taken for granted. It's understood that he has agreed to the terms and conditions of this thing. Okay, coming to the second part.
Sorry, Suresh, I'll stop you there for a minute. Basically, because when you say, when they click it, they agreed or they consented to be a participant for the app. What I'm not getting is it only an English version, or does it have Telugu version or Hindi version?
I understand.
Because I must not be educated to read what is there. As far as I know, using smartphones, I only know to click the button in green color so that it goes to the next one and I start the process. Just a question. It's open to.
No, very valid question, because in clinical practices, consent forms are in regional languages also, right? I'm assuming you're thinking in those grounds, right? Yeah. No, right now we don't have, sir. Right now we don't have. Maybe it's a very good suggestion. Possibly we will incorporate it. The basic consent, basically, at least the basic consent, if not the complete 10-page terms and conditions like any company has. So at least the patient consent form right now,
It can be an audio version also. It doesn't have to be a video, literal language translations in
Okay.
terms of, it can be an audio version where I just click, because I'm seeing the video in the
Uh-huh.
app. Similarly, I can actually listen to something in terms of
Okay.
the consent procedure, and then if I'm okay with it, I can click next, saying that, okay, I've listened to everything, and then we are getting done. So it's kind of.
But then that piece of video should be in different languages, right?
It's video in the sense, I'm meaning audio, not the video. It's just the
Achha,
audio.
Okay. At least the audio should be in different languages then, right?
Different language.
Because different languages. Anyways, I think that should be there. Awesome.
I'll leave
That's
it
a great. That's a great suggestion. Yeah. We'll just keep a note of that. And the second part. Sorry, I forgot the second part of the question. One was this. Second thing was, what if the patient hurts himself or herself based on the exercise that they do? Sir, see, the thing is, once the patient sees the video and he or she does the exercise, we have actually given an option of skipping the exercise in case the patient has pain. Okay, so obviously the patient has to give an honest answer on that. There's no second way till we integrate our hardware into also the into the app, which we have not yet done. So which is a feedback device. Otherwise, if the patient is having pain, he can actually skip doing that exercise. And as you have seen in the demo that I have shown, the patient has the choice to give his rating, whether he had pain or not, from on a scale of 0 to 6, whatever. If it's it's a very generic scale. So if it's very, very painful, he will put a very, very red one. If it was very peaceful for him to do the exercise, he will give a green smiley and a like or a dislike. So that gives a feedback, because your question was, how will this person also know whether the patient has feedback? And since it is telephysiotherapy, the patient is quite away. He can be in different country also. So in that case, the honest feedback from the patient that he had pain and he gave a dislike or a like, also gives a quick feedback to the physiotherapist, post which they can get on a call to understand if there was a pain. Then he can always get in touch with him to understand, how much was the pain, how was the pain. Out of 5 exercise, is it after third repetition that he got? He can always get in touch in that way. So first level of feedback comes in the form of feedback from the patient to the physiotherapist.
Because I raised that question basically because when something happens, and I have seen this in not teleconsultation, but in general practice as well, I tell patients to do something at home. They try and do it in a different way that's possible, and they fall. And finally, they will blame the person who set the exercises. So here in this case, if a patient has got a serious untoward incident, whom does he blame? The therapist who's prescribed that, or the app? So that becomes really a point for discussion, because there are physiotherapists who are going to deliver services, but they are going to use exercises from our library. Hence, I was just asking that question.
I think this is a very serious thing, and we need to definitely take care. One more thing which I want to tell, I am for it, sir, and I must thank you for such nice inputs that you are giving. But one more thing which I also want to tell, which can help us, is the video consultancy that is there as a feature of the app. Basically, even before prescribing the exercises, right? The physiotherapist can actually give a video consultancy and teach them over the platform as to if you're moving the wrist, move it like this. Basic precautions. For half an hour, the video call can happen. They can actually the way they train in the clinic, and they keep an eye. So that initial precaution can actually be initial training, and precaution can be given over the video consultation. Post which the clips that we have can be used as a reference. However, if the patient is exactly not doing it in any way, I think that's a very serious problem.
What we're getting rid of that particular question is, Dr. Suresh, having the same consent procedure for people or the providers who are enrolling to get this app. Just like you have consent for patient getting into therapy. You can also say that these are videos that are for generic practice, and providers who are actually having this app and then taking on a patient, it is your responsibility to look at what library of exercises you are prescribing for your patients. And we can also have a disclaimer saying that if you are prescribing the exercises for a patient, then you are taking charge of them in terms of any serious untoward incident.
Awesome. Understood, sir. Very clear, sir. Quite clear. Thank you so much, sir, for such a nice advice. And I will incorporate that also in my terms and conditions. Sure, sir.
Thanks, Suresh. Thanks for your time.
Thanks so much. I think your questions have enlightened a lot of people on this platform today. I'm sure. Thank you so much for that. Thanks, Dr. Suresh.
Thank you.
Anything else? I think I got a chat one. Dr. Prashant, is it just a video or also added written description of how to do the exercise? No. It's just a video. It's just a video which tells you, what has to be done. However, how to do the exercise? I think that's a very good question. As I mentioned, I don't know if you were there when I was giving a demo. When the physiotherapist prescribes an exercise, for example, wrist flexion. So there he's prescribing how to do. By meaning how to do, by saying how to do, it means basically how many sets, how many repetitions, at what speed, which we call as pace. So these parameters are actually also being set while the physiotherapist is assigning an exercise to the patient. So indirectly, the patient on his app, he sees how many repetitions, at what pace, and how many sets he has to do. That is all visible to the patient on his app, but there's no written text after that. I hope that answers. Anyone else? Anybody has any questions in the group? Yeah, Dr. Megha Singhal has a question, but patients don't actually mimic the exercise as shown if there were no instructions. Yeah, that's what Dr. Megha. See, basically the visual feedback that's happening is the timer, the repetitions that, this much of time he should complete so many sets of exercises, right? And also, as I was explaining, Dr. Suresh, that even before you prescribe an exercise to the patient, you are also educating the patient. You are instructing the patient over the teleconsultation as to how to do the exercise. You are actually telling them, okay? So it ensures that the patient is actually knowing that these are the exercises that will be given to him for the next day. However, the app is actually needed to ensure what has to be done, when and how, and keep reminding them, and also keep a feedback from the patient on a day-to-day basis as to whether they are adhering to the protocol. So this is more of a platform which ensures that you prescribe the exercise and the patient is actually doing, and he or she is able to do it without pain. So as you rightly mentioned, it's not they will exactly mimic the exercise, but yes, if the leg has to be raised and brought down in 10 seconds as per the timer, they should keep that pace. If it is a fast pace, if it's a slow pace, if you are prescribing it in a slow pace, which takes 20 seconds for the leg to raise and come down, so somehow the patient is getting an audio beep as well as a timer, seeing which he understands that, okay, whether he is at par with what physiotherapist has actually given him. Okay? In case he has any queries, he can always get back to you over the phone, because app also supports video call and audio call. I hope that answers. Yeah, okay, got it. Okay. Thanks, Dr. Megha, for that. Anybody else in the group who have any queries regarding the app? No, I don't think anyone has any questions. Great, then with this, we'll mark the end of this webinar. In case you have any queries, feel free to write us an email at, I'm just typing it here on you can please send an email to us. We keep checking emails. Any queries, you can also get us in touch and get in touch with us, using our phone. So please, thanks a lot. I would like to thank all the audience who were available here today. Thank you. you, Dr. Prashant. And it's with you, this physiotherapy is now becoming digital. Equipments are coming here now. And just like other departments are so scientific and evidence-based, physiotherapy is also like that. So I urge, you download the platforms and start interacting with your patients, and also start getting additional revenues. Because of this lockdown, you cannot go to your patient, and neither they can come to you. So get in touch with them on a day-to-day basis, and let your business flourish. I also wish all the physiotherapists really good luck and best wishes, and please use this platform as much as possible, because this has been designed for you. Thank you so much, and have a nice day. Bye. Bye.